Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Darius Lott, and this isn't your typical edition of Second and King. No, this is something new that I've decided to add. This is a little segment I like to call Three Up, Three Down. I choose from three specific topics that we're going to talk about, and I'm trying to squeeze it into a roughly about 10 minutes or so. So, we got some things to talk about, some notes on spring training, so let's get into it. First, right off the top, Bryce Eldridge. He made some noise early in spring, just about a week or so ago. He hit a home run that went 450 feet to dead center in his spring training debut. And I talked about it on the last episode. If you haven't yet, go ahead and check that out. I talk about a lot of young San Francisco Giants players. Bryce Eldridge, he's the real deal, man, when it comes to his power. He didn't get that 70 grade power from scouts for nothing. So this is just an example of that. You know, he's the talk of the town. I still fully expect him to be in AAA to start the year. If he just starts raking, if he's just going crazy in Sacramento, and the Giants find themselves with a need for some thump in the middle of the lineup, Bryce Eldridge is, their first in-house option that they can turn to, and he would be a real game changer in the middle of that Giants lineup. So, his at-bats are becoming must-see, and they're becoming like, ooh, like what's he gonna do next? They're becoming very, very exciting. So, hopefully, as spring training rolls on, we'll get to see and hear more about Bryce Eldridge and the impact he's making on Giants camp. Another interesting note, this came at the beginning of spring training. Maria Guardado, she covers the San Francisco Giants, talked about how the Giants were experimenting with the lineup, potentially shaking it up. And the major shakeup that she mentioned was the Giants actually moving the returning Jung-Hoo Lee to the 3 spot in the lineup while Lamont Wade Jr. would lead off. They asked, Bob Melvin about it, and he said, he mentioned how Wade gets on base too. So, he was thinking with his ability to get on base so efficiently that, maybe they can use Lee to kind of lengthen the lineup, I'm guessing. I'm not entirely sure about that. I mean, I can get why they probably want to see about it and kind of mess around with it. But the thing is while Lamont does have the ability to get on base, walk, he has a high OBP, he's an on-base king. The thing that you typically want in your prototypical leadoff man is speed, and Lamont just doesn't give you that, unfortunately. He's had a lot of injuries in his big league career to, his lower half, a lot of leg injuries. It's mostly the reason why he's not playing outfield anymore. They moved him full time to first base to kind of keep him healthy and keep his bat in the lineup. And, the injuries to his lower half kind of zapped any kind of athleticism or speed that he may have had. Not that he was the fastest player to begin with, but, you put him at the top of the Giants lineup, you are sacrificing some, speed there. You are basically giving away, speed and base running ability at the top of the lineup, for the sake of getting on base. And I would present to you a scenario that just happened yesterday. At the time I'm recording this is Thursday. The Giants had a spring training game against the Cubs yesterday on Wednesday, and Jung-Hoo Lee actually led off, for the Giants. He was in the leadoff spot, and there was a point in the game where he gets on by a hit by pitch. Willy Adames comes up, right behind him and hits a single. Now, he goes first to third, does Lee, and just like that, he's 90 feet away from scoring. And then eventually in that same inning, a wild pitch gets away, he scores, so his speed enabled him on a base hit, a single, to go first to third and put pressure on, the defense. And, you got the guy at third, ball gets away, that's an easy score. That's a stand-up score for him. If you were to put Lamont Wade Jr. in that role, in that spot, he probably just goes station to station. He goes from first to second. And then the pass ball, he goes to third. But then, say the Giants, you don't get there's a good chance you don't get a run there. But because, he doesn't have the speed to take the extra base like you want. So I know they're kind of dealing with, or they're trying to dabble in, trying to mix up the lineup, see how they can get creative and how they score runs. I think if you're going to have anyone hit at the top of the Giants lineup, your best bet is going to be Jung-Hoo Lee. He's the one that is going to spark the offense. He's going to set the table for you. You got a bit of that last year, and you could see a whole lot more of it this year. So, and right now, Lamont's playing with his batting stance. He's got himself like a more crouched, hunched over stance. He's kind of been experimenting with, and it hasn't worked to the best results just yet. I guess we'll have to give it time and see, but yeah, I'm gonna say a hard pass on LaMonte Wade Jr. being the leadoff man for the Giants. I'm gonna say Jung-Hoo Lee is your best bet to lead off going into 2025. Third and final topic here is gonna be about Giants spring training games. And why aren't they on TV? Like you can find them if you have the MLB TV app, that you have to pay for. And it'll typically be the opposing team, their broadcast. So no Kruk and Kipe, no John Miller, Dave Fleming. So, that's kind of lame. There are, 30 spring training games that are supposed to be broadcasted? And only 5 of them are going to be televised by NBC's Bay Area. That's pretty dang lame, and that just got me thinking about why is that? Why are we only getting 5 televised games from our broadcast? Our broadcast team. And apparently, fans have been wondering the same thing. Fans have been saying things like, just how embarrassing it is. And they've been just being sarcastic towards the Giants ownership, who have the ability, more than have the capability, to put on more spring training games on TV broadcasts for fans to watch. I just don't understand why this is still an issue. They are capable of doing what everyone is saying they could do. So it's very disappointing, and it's annoying as a fan. There's a lot of buzz and some excitement that is going around this Giants team going into camp this year that wasn't there last year. And, with Bryce Eldridge, who hit his first home run, like I mentioned, in camp, that would have been nice to see on a TV broadcast with, Dwayne Kuiper's home run call, Jung-Hoo Lee making his return. That would have been nice. You just brought in Willy Adames. That's somebody I think you would love to introduce to the Giants fans at large. It's just, it doesn't make sense from an ethical standpoint to me, and not in a business standpoint either. I hope that doesn't continue. It feels like ownership's being a little cheap. They were trying to say the lack of, I think it was Larry Baer, he said the lack of spring broadcasts came down to there's not really a demand for it, which I don't believe, because everywhere I look online, there's big demand for it. People want to see, these spring training games, but I can go on about that all day, and I'm trying to condense this into 10 minutes. So that's going to be it for me, guys. Thank you for joining. Subscribe if you enjoyed the content. Follow on Spotify, Apple Music. Make sure you follow the pod on Blue Sky, Twitter, Instagram as well, at Second and King. This has been your boy, Darius Lott, and that's 3 up, 3 down.